let's draw some gems. Let's go. Okay, I'm using lined paper because it's easier. It would be even easier to draw these straight lines on graph paper, but I have lined paper. You probably have lined paper. We're at home during quarantine. No one's going to the store. Let's go ahead. With a pencil, we're going to draw this one first. So I'm going to draw a teeny tiny dot on the paper that marks the top. And then I'm going to draw 2 more dots to mark the edges. This is a what shape? Let's count how many sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what shape is that? If you said pentagon, you are correct. So this is 2 stripes on the lined paper. So I'm going to count down 1, 2 stripes on the lined paper, drawing 2 little dots, and they need to be the same distance with this top point in the middle. You could use a ruler if you wanted to. That would be cool too. Now, if you have a ruler, you can draw a straight line to connect these dots. If you don't have a ruler, you can draw little short, sketchy lines from dot to dot. Okay? Now, these 2 are inside, right? These 2 are the widest points. It gets a little bit narrow, right, at the bottom. So again, 1, 2 stripes. 1, 2 stripes down. And you want to make sure these, same thing, if this was the top and we drew a line straight down, you'd want them to be the same distance apart. The best that you can. I mean, come on. We're in elementary school here. All right, you're drawing these lines straight down, dot to dot, and across the bottom. Now to draw the interior pentagon, the pentagon that's on the inside, you need to think about parallel lines, right? If I drew this line forever and this line forever, they would never intersect. They would never meet. They would always be side by side forever. Okay? So that's what parallel means. They're side by side. So I'm going to draw a shorter line, just like this one, going in the exact same direction, a short distance apart. And I'm going to stop as if there was an imaginary barrier where this dot and this dot are. Same thing on the other side, but these are going to connect right underneath this dot. Draw that parallel line down and stop right when you get to this point. Now, this gets a little tricky because now we can't really use these lines anymore. This bottom line is going to be a little bit higher than you would think. So I'm going to draw a parallel line that stops at both dots. That's just barely under this blue line, just barely under, and then connect. Okay, if you don't have straight edges, that's okay, but it would be nice if you did. That way it would be easier to connect these points to its outside edge. So you're going to grab the point and pull it all the way to that dot that's on the outside edge. Pull those vectors. Okay. All right, so now we have this shape. Mine's a little bit fatter this time, but that's okay. It's still a pentagon, and it's still going to look like a gem. Now, to do the shading, right, with a ruby, you have to think that this is not, it's not transparent. It's not like a glass of water, right? You can't see all the way through it. But it is translucent. You can have light shine through it, right? You can see that there's light, right? Where it's all pink, the light is making its way inside of the gem. So I'm going to start with pink, and I'm also going to use the color red for crayon. If you don't have, that's cotton candy. Where is red? Wild strawberry. Who named these? There we go, red. If you don't have crayons, you could use color pencils. You could use watercolor. You could use oil pastels. Anything that you can think of, okay? We're gonna start with pink. It's our lighter color, and I think that layering dark over a lighter color is better than trying to take away that dark color with a lighter color. It doesn't really ever work out. Remember, this is pencil lead, right? It will smear. If you rub your finger all over it, it'll smear. If you take a crayon and pull it all around, it's going to smear. So think of this like a coloring book where you want to color inside the lines. So you're going to do your best really, really lightly. We can always go back in and layer some more with a really nice pink in between those pencil lines, all around these edges. Try not to color over the pencil because it kind of pulls like a gray inside of this box. And if that happens, it's okay because we can just add more layers of crayon, right? Accidents happen. We all make mistakes, even grown-ups. Okay, so now that it's all pink, I kind of went around the edges on the inside of the small pentagon and just kind of highlighted that with the pink. So it's really light pink in the center, and then it's just, I have a second layer all along the edges on the outside and on the inside, okay? Now, looking over here, you can see that this is the top of the gem, this small pentagon. So if the light's coming from this direction, right? The light's coming this direction, we have a little shadow, okay? The light's coming from over here. That means that this one side or maybe both sides will be lighter, but it's a ruby, so it's red. So we don't want to leave it pink. We need red. So I'm going to trace over this pencil line with red. This is like a darker red than I wanted. I'm gonna pick a different kind of red. What's this? I don't want that. Wild strawberry. Okay, I guess. All right. So I'm going to trace up this line with wild strawberry. That looks literally the same color. Guess I didn't need to worry about that. I'm going to trace over all of these pencil lines with red, I guess, because it says wild strawberry, but it's clearly red. Making sure those lines are straight. Try not to push down too hard. If you push down too hard, you can use that piece of cardboard that we talked about, putting inside of your sketchbook just to make sure we don't dent or warp the pages underneath. Now, just like if you look over here, there is a really fine line of shading that starts on the bottom of the gem and kind of gets lighter as it goes to the top. So here's how that happened. I literally am only going to color half of it. That's why it looks like that. I'm just going to start at the bottom and really lightly, like you're tickling the paper really lightly. Maybe just touch it 1 or 2 times. 1, 2, and see what happens on the other side. 1, 2. So it's lighter towards the center. Okay? 1, 2. I'm going to do that all the way around, but because this edge here and this edge here are technically blocking more of the light, it's going to be darker on the sides that are dark, that are blocking the light, and get lighter as it goes away because the light kind of gets back in there. So starting on this bottom edge, the bottom of the pentagon, right, you're just going to touch the edge and pull about halfway across. Same thing at the top. Touch that edge, pull about halfway. And I'm just going so lightly. I have to layer so many times to get the look that I want. I can always go back in and add more. Okay, so this one, same deal. This bottom edge is blocking that light, so I'm only going to color about halfway so it catches the light over here. Okay. All right, almost done. The last thing we need to do is shade the top, the center part. So even though it's a plateau and it's flat on the top, right? It's flat here. It's still going to be slightly darker on one side. So you could pick this bottom edge and shade almost like a V. I'm going to pick this top one, same as I did here, and just lightly on the inside, just barely touch it. So we still have that pink stripe right on the other side, and then just pull almost like a V shape really lightly towards the center and then stop. That's it. Just like it's like literally a triangle towards the center of the pentagon, and I just barely touched it with this crayon. That's it. Now I'm going to put my red away, go back to that pink, because this is a translucent gem, the light bounces through the gem and actually casts a glow inside of the shadow. If you look at any of these gems that I did a shadow for, right, even this yellow one, it has a glow in the shadow. If you have a gem at home, you can check that out. It's a really cool feature. All right, so just barely on the outside, like you're outlining it in pink, just these two sides opposite from the light. Like our light is coming this way, so that means the shadow is opposite. It's on the other side. So I need this glow to be on this side. So just these two sides here, I'm going to draw a really light pink outline just on the outside. That's it. Really, really, really light. Now I'm going to use my gray, the lightest gray I have. If you don't have gray, do not use black. Use a pencil, okay? And just from the corner to the outside edge of here of the pink highlight on the outside, we're just going to draw a light gray line, barely touching the paper. Just on the outside of the pink. Just another line, okay? Boom. Look at that. That is a gorgeous gem. Now you can try this same strategy with different shape gems, right? Or like a diamond. And just remember to layer your colors and put a glow before you add that shadow. Maybe I'll come back in and dry this blue one in another video. All right, guys, I hope you like that, and I'll see you soon. Bye.